Welcome to Volvo Ocean Race headquarters here in Alicante, where we are going to be talking to Peter Burling. He's already got the gold medal, he's already got the America's Cup, and now it has just been announced that he has won World Sailor of the Year. We will be dialing into him on board Team Brunel, out with the rest of the teams in the middle of the ocean as leg 2 continues on its way from Lisbon to Cape Town. So let's get straight into it and let's have a look at the virtual eye over the last 10 hours. Well, all the jibing of the last 2 days has pretty much boiled down to this. From midnight, it has just been a drag race down to the south. A big pressure on boat speed with everybody, certainly the front four, very tight together, only 15 miles separating them. Vestas 11th Hour Racing was in the lead early on, but some problems on board with boat speed and the wind not playing ball means that the Spanish Team Mapfre have been able to pounce, and now there's a tight battle for the lead. Well, there you have it, quite a duel happening at the front of the fleet. So let's go to the Spanish Team Mapfre, who have made that incredible charge, and see what's happening on board.
We've been basically surrounded by clouds and showers, so that's it's been like a sort of a minefield all this morning, and just trying to deal our way through it.
Are you able to pick away? Is it coming down to chance?
Well, at the moment we're on site of Vestas, and obviously we don't know what the others have done, but we've been had our good moments and our bad moments. It's been a mix of everything that you'd expect in a showery area.
Over the last sort of 10 hours or so, it seemed like you guys have been sailing pretty nicely. A good feeling on board?
Yeah, it's always a good feeling on board. We're happy with our boat speed and how things come out so far. Yeah, it's good, but it's still a long race.
Now, just before I let you get back to the racing one, we're seeing Xabi Fernandez, the skipper. He's running around. He's obviously got a lot going on. We know you're sailing through these changes in breeze. Just how big a change is going on moment to moment?
Well, we've seen wind's direction from pretty much everywhere, from north to east, pretty much, and wind speeds from 25 knots to less than 10 knots. So it's kind of a typical weather that you'd expect through these shower clouds. And right now it seems to be clearing a little bit, so it looks like we're getting a bit of a break at the moment.
All right, Juan, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. We can see that you've got a lot on. I will let you get back to it. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Okay, well, earlier on I mentioned to you World Sailor of the Year. That title now going to the double Olympic medalist and America's Cup winner, Peter Burling. He's out on the water at the moment on board Team Brunel. And well, he's working pretty hard. He's on watch, and he's certainly responsible for the speed as much as anybody else is. Let's get his reaction on that fantastic news.
Yeah, you know, I was obviously knew that the awards dinner was going to be during this leg, but it was obviously an absolute honour for myself to be given that prestige of being World Sailor of the Year. I was pretty. It's obviously a bit weird because you're part of such a big team. That won the America's Cup in Bermuda. But definitely, really happy about it.
And this is obviously not unfamiliar ground for you. You won the award before with your long-term partner Blair Tuke as well. But I mean, where does it end for you? You seem to be just on a roll, just taking everything.
Yeah, it's obviously been an amazing 12 months, but we struggled a little bit last night in this leg, and we're just trying to push hard at the moment to gain a few miles back. But it's something that really enjoying my sailing at the moment, and really enjoying taking on a few different challenges. But it's certainly been a pretty cool experience.
You talk about pushing hard. I mean, we can see you there, certainly taking the time to talk to us, but while you are indeed working on watch, did your fellow team members, did they give you any time to celebrate, or was it just back to work as normal?
Oh, no, we have a bit of fun on board, and it's something that we're definitely just trying to make the most of it. I was just driving before, and we're slowly trying to get the boat to go a bit quicker than it has been, and I think we're slowly making improvements, but I definitely got a few miles to catch up on Dongfeng, who we think is probably in the nicest position at the moment. Yeah, we've got Scallywag and Turn the Tide kind of behind us, almost on our line, but we probably think Dongfeng's probably got the nicest run into it. Quite far west, just in front of us, and then Mapfre and Vestas and Axe Noble's actually come down to us a bit on the last sked drive down, so it's something that we lost a few miles overnight, trying a few things, but it'll be an interesting couple of days ahead. With the breeze slowly dying, we've had kind of 25 knots for most of the time, but just sitting under 20 now, so it's been a really quick trip down here so far. So we're just beautiful sailing.
All right, well, Peter, thank you so much for taking the time. Congratulations once again, and we'll see you in Cape Town.
No worries at all, mate. Cheers.
Okay, well, the race continues, and here in Volvo Ocean Race headquarters, we've got all the race experts, all the data, and Conrad Colman working exclusively for us. And of course, there's going to be a lot going on over the next few days. So, Conrad, what's coming up over the horizon?
What's coming up is a whole lot of port tack sailing. Diggers, let's get into the computer and we'll have a look here. This is what the race experts cooked up for me earlier when I asked what was going to go on. And well, this whole mess here is pretty incomprehensible, so I'm going to have another crack at explaining it for you. If we look at the weather, this is where they're sailing at the moment, and they are down at the latitude of the Canary Archipelago. They're a little bit offshore, as we've seen, in that fight to get west. Now, scrolling forward, if I turn on the weather, we can see that we're jumping down into this evening, and then tomorrow morning. The thing to keep an eye on is going to be this area of light wind. That's the wake behind the Canaries, and also a bit of a low or a depression that's heading off the African coast. So the boats that are currently east, like Turn the Tide on Plastic, are going to be feeling a little bit vulnerable there. Now, we're on Friday, and the boats are going to be approaching around here at that point. You can see that the triangle of the doldrums, this is an area with absolutely no wind whatsoever, is actually reducing. When we started this segment, the triangle was a lot bigger. Now, at the time that we expect them to be crossing over, the triangle of death is actually quite small. Now, that may lead to a pretty narrow gate here for the crossing, and actually could lead to a relatively painless crossing of the famous doldrums. I will be sure to talk you through that over the weekend and as the time approaches. Now, what is going on out there at the moment? We have seen impressive gains by Vestas 11th Hour Racing, peeking a little bit behind the curtain here. This is some of the data that we use here in the office, and this is the raw data. We can see that they've done the best in the fleet, 400 miles over the last 24 hours. But the thing to draw your attention to is here. They have stayed in better pressure than everybody else. They have a true wind speed average over the last 24 hours of 23 point whatever knots. If you put that down in comparison, the boats that has been hurting the most is actually Team Mapfre. They're down in less than 20 knots. And obviously that shows up in the stats. So the boat at the front has the most wind. That's no surprise, and we're going to see how that plays out.
All right, well, thank you, Conrad. Well, there are winners and there are losers in this game, and here are some of the reactions from the back of the fleet.
We're being as proactive as we can, trying to be smart about where we put the boat, but the doldrums can, create an awful lot of mix-up, and for sure these leaders are going to start losing miles. So we'll, what we're losing right now, we'll definitely get back a chunk of that, if not more. So basically it's 2 days of really keeping the faith here now. A day from now, I think we'll have a different feeling on board in that we'll be gaining rather than losing. This sort of slow, steady loss is hard for everyone on board to swallow. And honestly, at the moment, I think we're not happy with where we are, but we will make gains. There's a very, very long way to go in this race.
Every time Stephen Howes comes on deck on another sked and says we've lost, everyone's putting the rusty leatherman away so they don't slash their wrists. Yeah, it's quite depressing when you work really hard for 6 hours and then find out you've just lost.
Well, there you go, some news from the front of the fleet and the back as well, some highs and some lows, and there's going to be plenty more of that as leg 2 continues all the way down to Cape Town. We will bring you all the drama and all the updates here every day, so join us then.